What up? What up? What up? Hey, we're gonna be going over our predictions and bets for UFC 306, UFC Noche going down on the at the Sphere this Saturday, September 14th, down in Nevada. Um, so I did a lot of tape study last night. I did quite a bit of research, and some of my predictions are not lining up with the general consensus and just overall what the public thinks. So I think I've got some interesting takes, and yeah, I'm going to share those with you guys. Just give me 1 second to get everything set up here, make sure everything's going smooth. If you're just joining, feel free to comment, join the panel here, make sure everything's running smooth here. Some changes. Let's see. Should be all good. All good. Let me throw up our parlay builder. First leg we got is Rojas money line. We're gonna do a couple different parlays, and the first one is gonna be not so risky, and then after that we'll start adding a little bit more risk. But let me make sure everything's all smooth here. Okay. All right. Looks like we're good. Okay. All right. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me throw up comments. Welcome to anybody that's coming in. Let's bring this up. Let's just peek diving. For some reason, when I pull this up on my other account, I'm not seeing that it's live. So give me 1 sec. Let me switch my account back. Switch my account. Okay. All right. We're going to get started here. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. So, first bout, Rojas. As we know, he is one of the young phenoms. He had a test with C-Rod, which he didn't pass. And I mean, C-Rod, he's very experienced. He's a good, very tough test. I wouldn't say he's a gatekeeper, but he is sort of a gatekeeper for those younger guys that are trying to make it to the next step. Same with Cameron Simon. Similar to Rojas, he didn't pass the test either. But anyways, all right. So we're gonna go. Actually, all right. Never mind. Okay. So AQ, man. I mean, I can't stand this dude. I mean, I can never seem to get his fights right. When I try to fade him, he wins. When I finally take a shot on him, he loses. I follow Brandon Olivas and Santino DeFranco closely. AQ fights it or trains at Fight Ready. And man, I swear I always end up getting talked into him or talked off of him. So yeah, I mean, I think Rojas is going to get the sub here. AQ's takedown defense doesn't look good. The other thing is, I mean, he's very hittable. He doesn't have good head movement. So it's very likely that Rojas is going to finish him. But just for the sake of putting together a somewhat safer parlay, we're just going to take his money line for now. And then, so for the next one, we're going to go to Edgar Cháirez versus Joshua Van. So this is one where it seems that everyone is still on Joshua Van, and I love Josh Van. I just think that it doesn't matter how old you are. Only giving yourself 2 months to come back from a bad knockout. That's not nearly enough. I mean, look, Usman was much older and he's much further along in his career, but I think that he should have taken even more time to come back from a bad knockout. Josh Van only had 2 months, so I mean, I think that Cháirez, it's not like he's pillow fisted. He could have enough power here to check Josh Van. All it takes is a few punches to start bringing back some flashbacks for Josh Van, and he'll end up. I think he's gonna have. I don't think he's recovered yet. I just don't think he's fully recovered yet. So, on top of that, so that's the first thing. Second thing is this is UFC Noche. So I think that Edgar Cháirez is going to. I think he's got more of a chance than people are giving him credit for. Everyone is on Josh Van, and the line isn't moving that much. I mean, so it looks like he was opened up closer to minus 300. And yeah, with Bovada, he was there. Let's see where he was at on DraftKings. I mean, it's moved 20 cents, which is not a lot, to be quite honest with you. So that one, I think we're going to leave that one out. I'm going to take a look at my notes. So, yeah, I mean, if we're going to do anything here, I would say take a stab on Cháirez KO. You can take Cháirez plus 3.5, I think is good. Cháirez KO is plus 1,200. Not to get too crazy, man. I think that that's a very good bet for someone that was just knocked out 2 months ago. I think that's a very, very good bet. Cháirez can definitely win by decision. Josh Van overall everywhere, I think he's better. I like him much more as a fighter, but this is honestly probably one to stay off of. So let's go to the next fight. Let's see. Okay, Yazmin Jauregui versus Ketlen Souza. Okay, so this is another fight where I feel pretty good about Yazmin here. She's a minus 550 favorite. So let's go back because we have to just keep our parlay going here. And then second leg is going to be Yazmin. And we're going to add that to minus 520. What is that going to be? Minus 520. 520. And that is minus 323. Okay. So 3-1 odds on those. Or 1-3 odds on those. Look, I mean, I think Yazmin, she looks like she packs more of a punch than what she really does. Ketlen, I think, is durable and experienced enough to go the distance. So I think it goes the distance. The over is set at 2.5 minus 280, which is pretty chalky. I personally don't like that. I think that Yazmin does cover the minus 3.5. I think she really pieces up Ketlen. It's possible that she finishes her in the third round. So if that's kind of the way that you're feeling, minus 3.5 is decent, but it really doesn't cut the money line down that much. I mean, you could say, okay, yeah, sure, it cuts it in half, but I mean, there's times where you can take a minus, like a minus 800, and then take the minus 3.5, and it'll be around minus 220. So to each their own. I mean, I do think she gets her by decision, but let's see what round 3 KO is. Round 3 KO is plus 1,400, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think that's worth a stab. So I'm actually going to write that in my notes. plus what was it, guys? 1,300. Let's see. Minus 1,400. That's pretty fucking good, dude. To be honest with you guys, I think that's really good odds there. So we're gonna write that. Yeah, we gotta go round 3 KO plus 1,400. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, so next fight that we are looking at is going to be Manuel Torres versus Bahamondes. Okay, give me one sec, just checking something. Okay, so the way I see this fight, a lot of people they look at this very bipolar way, I guess. They're either heavy on Torres or they're heavy on Bahamondes. They seem like they're very biased. I think that this is a very even fight. These guys almost are very similar. I would say that Torres is going to be certainly more dangerous early on. Bahamondes is pretty much like a not as dangerous version of Torres. I think that Bahamondes doesn't have good head movement. I think he is very hittable. But Torres' gas tank, just not too sure about how he's going to look in the later rounds where Bahamondes could possibly take over. But I think that Torres is going to be able to finish him and put him away. Now, the thing is, when you have two very similar fighters, it tends to go a little bit longer. So if we look at Torres, Bahamondes, the thing that I was waiting for to come out was this completes one round. So fight to start round 2, yes. So we're gonna add that to the parlay builder. That almost gets it to even money. So I'm gonna edit this. And that gets us to minus 104, which I think that's pretty good. That's honestly probably a very good way to start the prelims. Let's go ahead and show that. So we got Raul, Rojas money line, Yazmin money line, and then Torres, Bahamondes over one round. I don't think that the fight could certainly end within the first 5 minutes, but I think that both guys are going to respect each other's power. Like I said, when it's two very similar fighters, it tends to actually kind of go a little bit longer. So I could see a second or third round KO, and I would certainly give Torres the advantage there. Let's see if there's a KO 2-3 for Torres. Torres KO 2 is plus 700. Torres KO 3 is plus 1,400. Both of those I think are very good. You can take some money and split those up. You can go like 30. Let's see, 15. Something like that right there. If you wanted to split it up. I think that those are definitely worth some stabs there. So, okay, next fight, we are going to, this one. This one also, when the line first came out, I was I couldn't wait for Norma Dumont, and I was actually anticipating the money line to move heavy towards Dumont. But when I was doing tape last night, I realized that Irene, I watched Irene when she was when she fought Amanda during Amanda's retirement fight. I was up there at UFC Vancouver, and man, she just got pieced the fuck up. I think she was very hesitant in that fight, but besides that fight, she does a very good job of using her jab, using her reach, using her boxing, right? Norma, she just kind of comes forward. She's just a bulldog coming at you, going for the takedowns. I feel like she's also very hittable. So I think that Irene Aldana is going to be able to, I think she'll be able to keep her distance with Norma. And the fact that we're seeing the Irene line come down, I think that is sharp money. I don't think that's casual money. It's a little bit difficult to tell because these pay-per-view numbers are always going to be skewed with the odds. But I think with Irene, it's also hard to tell this week because she's Mexican and people could just be parlaying the Mexicans. However, I don't think that's what's going on here. I think that this is actual money. But regardless, this is still at a pick 'em, so it's pretty tough. I think this is going over, but let's take a look. Over 2.5 is pretty. That's pretty chalky, man. That's pretty chalky. I don't think Norma will get finished, but it's certainly fucking possible. And Dumont plus 3.5 is minus 250. That's not worth the chalk. Irene by KO is minus 650. I think that's certainly worth a stab. If you were going to do that, I would try rounds 2 or 3 because Norma's durable and she's not going to give up, but it's certainly possible that she just gets pieced up. And I don't know if there's a double chance. Irene by KO or decision minus 110. If you're going to play Irene, I think that's a good shot right there. She's not subbing Norma. So, actually, what the fuck? Excuse my language. It's minus 110. Never mind. Because their money line's minus 115. So, yeah, not worth it. I would say if you're going to play Irene, KO 2-3. Norma, if she's going to win, I would say it would be by decision. So, it's only plus 130. It's not much. Going to be much better than her money line. Her money line's probably going to be even by the time Saturday comes around. So that one's more of a pass for me. But let's go to the next fight. Next one is Ronaldo Rodríguez versus Ode Osbourne. Ode, again, is one of those fighters that I have beef with, man. Every time I try to give him a shot, he ends up losing or looking like shit or like he didn't even try. And then when I try to fade him, he wins. Ronaldo, man, I don't know about this dude, man. This dude is wild. Like, he's wild. He's young. He doesn't have good defense. There's some times where you're just like, he plays possum in a sense. Like, he'll just kind of fuck around, let you hit him, and then once he finally gets hurt, he wakes up. So, yeah, I mean, I think that he'll end up taking over, but man, I'm not too excited for this one, to be honest with you. I mean, betting wise, I mean, as far as a fight goes, it's gonna be pretty good, but besides that, yeah, I'm not too happy as far as trying to make a bet. Now, one thing you could do is Ronaldo inside the distance only, decision, no action. So let's see. Oh, right here. This is a new one for me. So to win by finish, Ode to win by any knockout, sub, or DQ. No. I mean, it's possible that he finishes Ronaldo later, Ronaldo gasses or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good bet. But it's not making it in the parlay, baby. We're going to pass on that one. I think that's a good one. If you wanted to do Ronaldo, let's see, finish only. That's KO only, sub only. minus 900. See, KO only. They got O'Day minus 135, which is interesting. And then they got alternate point spreads here. So I think, let's see, is this opening up the main card? Yeah, it is actually. That's opening up the main card. So we got Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. Okay, so full disclosure, I don't know if you guys watch We Want Picks and you guys watch Jacob, but he does those hilarious Lock of the Week skits, and which I respect. He puts a lot of work into those, but he's also doing pretty damn good with those. Ribovics is his Lock of the Week this week. So I don't know. I got to put some respect on that. I think that Zellhuber is going to win a decision. Ribovics is very tough. Zellhuber can also piece him up and get a KO, but it's certainly not going to happen in the first round. I would say it's going to be later in the fight. Over 2.5 is minus 230. For someone like Zellhuber that's got razor sharp accuracy, I would say that's not really worth laying the chalk on. His money line is minus 230. I think that's fair. His KO is plus 300. There's not really enough meat there for me. So I think it goes over. Let's see if they got some decent round props. Fight to start round 2, minus 650. Fight to start round 3, minus 280. I would say fight to start round 2 could be a good parlay booster, so we could throw that in there. He gets it a minus 1 or plus 126. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I try and do relatively safe parlay pieces, and there's going to be 1 or 2 of them there that are going to be sweaty, like this one right here, Torres Ignacio, to start round 2. But I think that Zellhuber, I should definitely start round 2 as well, but we're going to leave that one off. Okay, Ortega Lopes. So this is certainly one where we need to see where Ortega is going to be at physically for the weigh-ins. Ortega, he looked like in his fighter photos that he's a bit heavy. He's also mentioning that after this he's moving up a weight class. So I am not too. We have to wait to see if he's gonna drain himself and make weight, or if he's gonna come in overweight and they're gonna move it up and he's gonna play that tactic because he's gonna move up to lightweight anyways. So I would definitely say that I think Lopes is where I would want to go with this. That's what we're gonna do. Now, if we could somehow get some fucking plus 3.5 on the point spread on Lopes, that would be the move. But we're gonna take Diego Lopes and we're gonna add him to the parlay. So we're gonna say Diego. Let's see, Lopes money line. What's his money line? Minus 192. And that gets it up to plus 199. Okay. All right, so that's updated. So that's plus 199. Now, Ortega by sub, plus 750. I think that if the books thought this was actually a possibility, that would not be plus 750. It would be like plus 250 maybe. Make it a little bit more tempting or less tempting. Diego Lopes by sub, plus 500. Lopes by KO. KO is definitely a possibility. Lopes says he wants to finish his fight early, and he wants to finish the fight early and get the fuck up out of there. So I don't know. I mean, to be quite honest, these last few fights could go either way. Um, I think the same thing with the co-main event, which we'll go to right now. Um, okay, so we all know what happened in the last two fights. The last fight ended in a draw. We know that these fighters are very familiar with each other. I think this is going to go distance, and I think it's going to be somewhat close. I think Valentina plus 5.5 is a good bet to make. So she has to win a round and a half on all the judges' scorecards. I think that that's doable. But yeah, I mean, Valentina, she says that she's now fully healed. She's not rushing back into a fight, but I just don't know about it, man. I mean, I love Valentina. She's probably my favorite fighter, but I don't know about that one. Grasso to win by KOs plus 800, by sub plus 400. I feel like sub is certainly possible, and 400 is close enough to get me to the window, and if you need a little bit more meat on the bones, you can always add Rojas, maybe even Yazmin, get those two knocked out quick, and then you got that one there to boost it. As far as Valentina, let's see. I mean, you could play draw again, although that's probably not going to happen. It's probably a sucker bet because that would be a little bit higher, plus 6,600 or so. There's just not a lot to go on here. So anyways, let's go to the main event. Sean O'Malley versus Merab. Now here's the weird thing. So every prediction that I'm hearing and all the talk that I'm hearing is all over Sean O'Malley. But if that's the case, why isn't the line really moving? So this was back in August. So yeah, here's even money. It's only moved 30 cents since late August. So we're looking at the last 3 weeks. It's only moved 30 cents. Everyone seems to be on O'Malley, and this is not a ton of line movement. Moving 30 cents. I mean, if everyone was on him, he would be closer to minus 200 at least. And here's the other thing. The bookmakers, when they made these odds, Merab was minus 140. So I think that Merab is going to win. Obviously, we think that it would be decision, but why get greedy? Just take his money line. It's only 55 cents there difference. So just take the money line. Let's do one other thing. So let's take Lopes off, and we're gonna take Lopes off, and we're gonna add someone who you guys are probably familiar with. And we are going to go over to boxing. Now, this is all I have right now. This, I think, is very safe. There always has to be a sweaty leg, guys. There's no way around it. We're going to add Canelo, and that'll be plus money. Canelo gets into plus money. Now, if you want to go here, I think this is the way I would go. So Canelo, no distance. That's what, minus 330? Minus 330. And that gets it to plus 156. So that's the ticker right there. Uncle Wheezy, he does breakdowns for the UFC. He's got a greasy 4-leg parlay. I think this is going to be my greasy 4-leg parlay. Let's do Edgar Berlanga. Man, motherfucker overreaches. He's there with his feet planted. going to get caught, man. You know, I think that the books are on this. They've been on this. Canelo KO is minus 290. So yeah, they're all over this. But yeah, I think that's a good one. I lean under that it's going under 8.5, but this line hasn't really moved. Canelo is saying that he's going to knock him out in the 8th round. We'll see about that. I think that that's certainly a possibility. The 7, 8, 9. If you have any belief in that, I think that is a decent bet. It's plus 240. You can certainly like add that to this, get it up to plus 568. Win over 1.5 knockdowns or under 1.5 knockdowns. That's probably right. But yeah, so that's the way I would go. Now let's do the Mexican parlay. So let's go to the Mexican parlay. Let's go back to the UFC. Let's go Cháirez, Torres, Aldana, Rodríguez, Zellhuber. You got Ortega and Lopes. So neither of them rep the Mexican flag. Lopes is obviously he's Brazilian and Mexican, and Brian Ortega is Mexican American. So let's just stay off that. And then we got Grasso as the last leg. That's a 5,000 plus 5,000 parlay, which is pretty damn good. So let's see. We just threw $20 on that. You could win 1,000 potentially if all the Mexicans win on the first ever UFC Noche at the Sphere. Yeah, man, it's certainly possible. You know, the biggest one is going to be right here, Edgar Cháirez with Josh Van. I think it's still possible, though, because I don't think Josh Van has really recovered. So let's say you want to be a little bit safer. You go Rosas, Yazmin, Torres, Aldana, Ronaldo, Rodríguez, and Zellhuber, and Grasso. That's still plus 1682, which I think is fucking good. You know, if you want to put Merab back in there, plus 36. You put Merab plus 5.5. If you don't think he's going to get knocked out, you think you can make it close, you guys at a plus 3,000. The relatively safe Mexican parlay would be Grasso, Zellhuber, Torres, in my opinion, is gonna beat the shit out of Bahamondes. If you wanted to get very safe, but that would leave it at 479. If you wanted to get very safe, it would be plus 227. And then look, there's no way that Canelo is losing to this dude. In my opinion, it's combat sports, art of the unexpected. But that gets your parlay. You add him in there, it gets it up to plus 245. So there is also fights that are going to be on Friday night. And there's also there's fights that are on Thursday. Is Romain Villa, Rolly Romero is going to be on this card. Caleb Plant, which I can't wait for. I think Caleb Plant, I need to do some tape because McCumbee is decent, I guess. You know, he's in shape. He's still trying to make his comeback to boxing. But, I mean, you know, Caleb Plant, he's been in some tough fights recently. So I feel like he's got to let his body rest a little bit. The other sport that we're looking at, or other league that we're looking at, is Bellator, which is happening Friday. They're over in Ireland. So there's going to be some good spots there. Mark Diakese is there. Here's a good line that I think everyone should look at is Aoriqileng. He's only minus 205. I think that is a steal. Aoriqileng is a golden child. Trains up there in Colorado with Kamaru. I think that's a very good line. He's usually, no cheaper than minus 800. So I think that's a good one. And then we got BKFC on Friday as well. So yeah, man. I mean, down here at the bottom is my best bets. I think that personally, Merab is very live. I think Merab is going to win. I think that he can win a decision. I think that he can, if he can get Sean down in the first round, I think he's going to wear him out. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. What the hell? Well, all right. Well, anyways, yeah. So I think that Merab is going to beat Sean O'Malley. I think it's going to be. I think if he can. So sorry, I got distracted. I think if he can get him down in the first round, I think that's gonna. He's going to be able to start grinding O'Malley out. It might take a round or two, and if Merab's still there with not much damage, I think he's going to be able to start closing the gap and start grinding O'Malley down. But he does have to do it somewhat early. Let's not forget that he trains with Ray Longo. His best friend is fucking what's his nuts, Aljamain Sterling, Aljo. So they've had the game plan for O'Malley before, and I think that Merab can make it happen. So, all right, but yeah, let me know what you guys think as far as all the bets go. And yeah, there's so we got UFC, we've got a lot of boxing this week, and we've got Bellator. There's PFL 2 or bare knuckle as well, but I don't have a ton of time to tape. I actually have to be up here in a few hours, so I just wanted to put this out there just in case anyone was curious. I did a lot of tape last night, so I figured may as well kind of share my findings with you guys. But all right, good luck and have a good night.